is the LordOfSelecuid. This is my first YouTube video, and it's on the game Rome to War. This is a historical online battle. This is the Battle of Asculum. This is fought between King Pyrrhus of the Selecuid Empire against the Roman legions of Rome. This battle was fought over 2 days. It started when King Pyrrhus was called in as a mediator between a city that Rome was after to conquer, and tensions were rising, and he saw this as an opportunity to attack Rome. And on Tarentum's side, which is the name of the city, they attacked Rome, and they were forced to fight in the winter, so they had to stay in Italy in the winter with nowhere to go after decimation started by one of the Roman generals after the loss of an earlier battle. Decimation is where every 10th soldier in the battle line is beaten to death by his comrades. Very brutal but efficient way to get your troops to work. So in this next battle, nobody wants to help them. So the King Pyrrhus is all on his own this time with his army. The first day of the battle is fought in the woods, as you can see all around. This is where King Pyrrhus stands the least amount of chance. This is where the Romans ambushed him here. This is where he takes most of his losses. But on the second day, he manages to fall back into this nice open pitched battle, which he's used to. And this is where he can put his phalanxes to the best of their abilities. And his war elephants, which is key unit. And although the Romans had anti-elephant units, these were like the incendiary pigs in this game, and the Roman archers with flaming arrows. But also velites, these were used as screening units. And the others, they throw their javelins into the elephants and cause them to panic, and of course do them heavy damage as the entire stick, or yes, bigger than a stick, a log, is thrown into the side of anything. That's still gonna hurt. And thrown by 80 men in a unit. Very painful. It doesn't really quite work this way in the actual game. I've tried it with velites. They're okay, but they don't really work too well. It's the only way you can defeat elephants in this battle, though. It's the only way you can do it. So as you can see, I've formed my line from the weakest at the front and the strongest at the back. I have my phalanx pikemen at the back, and then my militias stood up front. I have my missile troops at the front as well, to try and, because I know I have missile superiority, because the enemy has 3 units of velites, and I have 2 units of skirmishers, which are basically velites, a unit of Rhodian slingers, and a unit of archers. So I have the range advantage and the numerical advantage, so I'm sure I'm going to be able to beat him. So as you can see, I'm going to let him come to me as much as he wants to, because he has a hill advantage, and I want to try and get him away from it. But he stops before he gets to the road, thus keeping his hill advantage. So I decide to move forward with my army. Now, as you can see, the Roman legions here, they have quite a lot of upgrades. They've got quite a lot of experience, mainly. That's their main attribute. But King Pyrrhus' army is a lot more experienced after the earlier battle, which gives them a decisive advantage. So I'm moving up to the road now. I'm giving up my hill, because I think my phalanxes can just hold them off. At the time, I think. This time I know. But I thought this time that my phalanxes could batter them off, and they do. So I'm keeping the formation the same. Not giving him any unvulnerable points. I was tempted to give him a nice vulnerable point, like put my militias on one of the bits and he attacks them. Then I enclose him around him. It's a trap in a trap. But I decided against it. So as you can see, there's a small hill advantage. You can barely see it, but it is there. These men are saying confident upon or it's morale boosting to be up on the hill or something like that. Can't remember what they quite say. So he's moving around his triarii and his flanks, and this isn't the best idea, because triarii are good against the Selecuid cavalry, which is a lot of. But it's kind of awkward for the Romans, because the Romans like to engage their opponents from the front, and then just keep them off the back and let the legions just power their way through the front. But they can't do this with phalanxes. They have to be more strategical and go in the flanks. And not many Roman units are designed to do this. I've never met an opponent which can form these pike walls that they have know nothing about. So as you can see, there's an exchange going on here between my skirmishers and his. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win because he's just targeting these lot. So my archers and my slingers are free to attack. I don't really count skirmishes as losses, by the way, because it's only a skirmish and it doesn't really determine the way the battle's gonna go. I could lose this one and still win, and he could still lose his and still win. The skirmishes are just those little things before the battle. I don't really like doing skirmishes; they're just boring. I prefer to just get right into it, but everybody else does skirmishing, so I have to do skirmishing. Or I just think like me, and then enter like that. So this maneuver here is a flaw as well as a success. And he's forming up to attack my Rhodian Slingers. But my Rhodian Slingers get a few volleys off on his Triarii before they do. And that's the idea. And you can see that Triarii don't fare too well against missiles. So that my archers have been shooting at him for quite a while now. I told me to shoot there, and I was telling him to shoot some Hastati. Not doing too good on that, but still, every less soldier counts. So he's doing a charge on my my left flank, sorry, and he scares away my Rhodian Slingers. And he doesn't kill any of them. So I'm charging over my cav, but for some reason some of them die when they're charging over my phalanx. And this cripples the entire charge, so I have to pull him out of her. I hope I can get to his Triarii and his back of him put out of it. But it didn't quite work like that. So he's drawn first blood there. But my phalanxes are quite experienced on the flanks. They're the phalanx pikemen, my hardcore phalanx units. As you can see, my elephant archers are firing. They're basically useless. They're just there for show. So this is where the real battle's starting now. The phalanx is attacking his Triarii, and this is where the real battle starts. So he's charging his equites into his flank, and his general is a lucky little. He's very good at microing because he managed to get through those. Then his general gets caught up right here, but he doesn't get killed. Oh, gutted. I was hoping I could kill him and just destroy his morale. So instead I have to settle for routing him. So I'm charging in now with everything, and it looks like a mess. But it's quite orderly actually. My planks are encircling the units behind and letting the ones in front come around the back of my pikes. So I don't really mind that. So they're only Triarii. The Triarii aren't designed for close combat fighting against melee units, melee infantry units to be precise. So as you can see, they're routing now. They're out of here, and he's throwing his peeler. And the easiest way to win this battle is to maximize peeler. That's the Roman legionaries' strongest asset. But because my militias are in the front, he uses up his peeler on my militias, and not so much on my actual pike units. But I actually give a damn about. So I've one on the left flank. This causes him to have to peel off a unit of Hastati and a unit of Princeps. And this is where he makes the fatal flaw. It lets me win the battle. He moves his Triarii around the flanks, which he kind of has to do, but I would have done it with another unit. So I'm charging forward now because I've got an idea. And the strategy I've come up with is that if I can pin down the Roman legions, I can swing around my elephants, and this works because he's let his flanks wide open, as you can see. So that massive gap, and that's big enough to get elephants through. So I'm charging through now with my elephants. I managed to crush these lot, which I think are trying to come around the back of my units. They kind of fail there. And he's trying to get his Triarii around, but they're just too slow or too late. So I told my elephants to just run through the entire line, and as you can see they are. And they are trampling everything. And they do, and it's not so much the damage they do, it's the morale damage they do. And as you can see, it just causes a mass rout. This is what wins the battle in the actual historical feature as well. The elephants managed to power through the centre with some help of the mercenaries and phalanxes, and simply just engulf the Roman legions. In the real battle, it's 3,000 Selecuid soldiers dead, and 8,000 of the Romans out of the 25,000 that started at the beginning. And it was both had 25,000. We're sure the Romans had 25,000 because they have 4 legions, which adds up. But the Selecuids, we believe, had, or historians believe, they had 25,000 because it was said to be an even battle. So around 25,000. It's a clear victory, and Selecuids are destined to win this and on real life by superior forces and new technology. So as you can see, at the bottom, my Rhodian slingers are flipping dominating. Look at that, flipping heck. 0 casualties as well. So again to my opponent. It's a very fun battle. I like historical battles. This is the Lord of Selecuid out.